Howdy folks, so today we're talking about position 4 and why position 4 is great and how to exploit position 4 and get the most out of it. Now I see the different 5 positions as giving me different opportunities when I'm playing over a blues backing track or a blues song, and I like to think of them as having their own sort of unique sort of characters and trying to use them in different ways to get as much as I can out of my soloing. If I used every position in the same way, I would sound the same in each position, and I don't want that. I want to sound different in different positions. So I kind of look for those features in a position that allows me to do certain things which are kind of unique to that position, and I think that is a very positive thing. So today we're going to look at position 4 and how we use position 4 and get the most out of position 4. Now the solo I did at the start was all in position 4, and what I'm going to do on the Patreon page is break that solo down and show you what I was doing. Because not only was I using position 4, but I was using a few little outsidey ideas and chromatic ideas and some diminished things as well. So I'll go through those on the Patreon page. Just click on the link below, it says Patreon there, check it out. Lots of good stuff on there as well. Right. So let's think about position 4. So you can see position 4 on your screen now. This is in the key of A. So I can play through it from the high E string down. Okay, and then the other way around. So that is position 4. Obviously you can see that on the screen now. Now when I see position 4, I kind of think a little bit of position 1, right? And I'll explain why. Position 4 is very similar to position 1. Position 1 starts here, obviously. If you look at what I'm doing from the E string, I'm going up a tone and a half, A string, tone, D string, tone. Now position 4, when I start from here, the A string, it's the same as position 1, isn't it? I've got a tone and a half, tone, tone, yeah? So that is just this. This is an octave higher than that. Yeah. So this is the same as this, but this is just an octave higher. Yeah, exactly the same. So I'm seeing that shape. Now the B string, instead of doing this, we do this. The B string goes up a semitone because the B string is tuned differently. So that is that. Yeah. And then the high E string is this. Yeah. It comes back in line, if you like. Now the low E string on position 4, I tend to ignore, right? I sometimes play it, but largely I think of position 4 as starting from the A string, because it just makes sense to me. Obviously I can include these 2 notes as well, but I like to think of it from here, because to me it's like position 1 but from the A string. Okay. Now the first thing that you should always do in the positions is to find where the root notes are, right? Because this is where your home bases are. And in position 4, we've got one there and one here, right? Like in position 1, we've got one there, one there. Because in position 1, we've got another one down there that we haven't got in position 4. So I'm seeing those as my home bases straight away, right? After I've found the root notes, I want to think about other chord tones like the 3s, the flat 3s, the 5s, and the flat 7s, right? So as I work through it, I can see here I've got a minor third there. So straight away, that is going to be something I'm going to exploit by going root, minor third, tweak at a quarter tone. Yeah. Now then I've got a 4 there. Now when I see that 4, I'm thinking, 4's not that strong, right? But I know it bends up to 5. So now I know this note I can bend. So that line is going to be really strong because I'm bending up to the 5, releasing to the minor third. All right, and then I've got root, flat 7, root, 5, 4, minor third, root. So I'm very aware of these intervals. Then on the high E string, I've got my flat 7 there. And where does the flat 7 go up to? A tone up to the root. So I've got another bending opportunity here. Yeah, so this note is great for bending. This note is great for bending. 5, 1, 4, 3, then 1. Yeah? So I'm creating all these little lines and really thinking about the notes, the intervals, how they work. You know, that's really important. I'm not just putting it together in a random way. Now, what about this? On position 1, this note is great for bending. Can we do that on position 4? Does that sound good? Well, it doesn't sound good, right? And the reason it doesn't sound that good is because you're bending from the root away from the root into the 2, right? Right? Now you're bending into a note that isn't a chord tone. You're bending away from home. To my ears, it's better to bend towards home or to bend to a chord tone. You're bending into a resolution rather than away from it. So if I was to bend that note, I'm not saying you can't bend it, I would be going, yeah, I would bend it fairly quickly because I know it's going up to something that's creating a little bit of tension, then I'd resolve it. Okay, whereas here I might go, yeah, and just really sit on that note. Here I wouldn't sit on that note. I'd want to resolve it pretty sharpish. Alright, so now I've familiarised myself with this scale. I know how the notes work. I know how they interact with each other. I'm creating little paths around it. Yeah, little paths like that. Alright, little paths like that maybe. Then I might think about opportunities for doing double stops. So double stops, I might see that. Yeah, I might see. So I'm just kind of looking where I've got pairs of notes sat together like that. Or maybe, so something like. Double stops always make you sound Hendrixy. Yeah, so I might think about that. I might think about bending and then holding a note and picking a note underneath it. And that will work well here because I'm bending up to a 5. I'm picking the flat 7 underneath it. So that's going to work really well. Okay. I'm also seeing, from a cage point of view, I'm seeing this chord, this A minor chord, within the scale. So I'm coming down to these notes, or going up to those notes. So something I teach students a lot, I do a little exercise and I say, instead of playing this, what I want you to do is to play into the chord tones. So you're going to play the scale like this. You're going to see this, you're going to play down into that chord tone, down into that chord tone, up into that chord tone, up into that chord tone, down into that chord tone, right? So that makes you see the scale in a slightly different way and makes you play the scale ending on strong notes, not ending on weak notes. And if you practice a lot like that, that will become part of your playing. So you'll know to end on that note, end on that note, end on that note, end on that note, yeah? Now if I played that this way around, ending on the notes, not the chord tones, the tension tones, it wouldn't sound as strong, yeah? So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that my little phrases that I put together end on one of these notes, yeah? I can do that either by seeing that shape, or by understanding that this relationship here is a minor third, or understanding this relationship's a 5. Obviously the B string changes this a little bit. I might see this relationship here as root 5, that sort of thing. So sometimes I'm looking at intervallic shapes, sometimes I'm looking at just the shape of the chord and using the cage system, right? But all that there, if I put that all together, I've got a really good sort of roadmap of position 4 that's going to enable me to use position 4 to create some good strong lines that sound a bit position 4-y, and they won't quite sound the same as the lines that I create in other areas. The other thing I'll do as well is I'll find where my flat 5s are quite quick. So the flat 5s in position 4, I've got one here, So I'll exploit that. Right, and then I've got another one here. Yeah. So those flat fives are really good. Oh, you know, people call it the blues note, don't they? And then, yeah, so knowing where your flat fives are in each position is really important. Everyone knows where this one is. In position 1, I mean, that's just used so much. But when people go into other positions, they tend not to know where the flat fives are a lot of the time. So find the flat five. You're navigating your way around the position and you're understanding how it works. You're not just playing the notes. The notes aren't equal, right? The notes are different. They all have their own different characteristics. To make sure that you understand the characteristics of each note, then you can exploit the positions and make your blues soloing sound fantastic. Don't forget to like and subscribe as always. Check me out on Patreon below. Catch you next time.